The new Bern Police Department is always excited to find good programs to roll out to our citizens, and I believe Text to 911 is such a program.
And it allows anyone with an active cell phone subscription that subscribes to a data plan or a text messaging plan to actually send a text message to 911. It's kind of an interesting prospect or an interesting mandate by the FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission. They stated that every wireless carrier in North America, or in America in general, has to be able to send and receive text messages in order to facilitate that use in 911 or for 911 purposes. In other words, each of the carriers had to be capable of receiving those messages and be able to forward them to public safety answering points or 911 centers so that there would be the capability to send and receive text messages through 911. And pretty much all the carriers had till this year to finalize that. And the major carriers, we're talking AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, US Cellular, and T-Mobile. Other smaller carriers will come online as the capabilities allow them to do so. But so far, the major wireless carriers are capable of sending and receiving text 911 messages.
It will allow citizens who are not in positions to give us calls to report incidents to us. Examples such as domestic violence, maybe someone is being assaulted and they're hiding from the assaulter, where it would not be practical to make a call.
There is a slogan associated with the Text to 911 program, which states call when you can and text when you can't. If you're able to call 911, we ask that you call 911. It makes things a little bit easier. You're able to convey your thoughts clear, the situation. We might hear things in the background that would assist in our response. Text messaging, we would really like that to be reserved for those that are deaf and hard of hearing and those people that can't actually call.
Also would benefit those with disabilities such as hearing disabilities or speech impediments.
Approximately 10 years ago, I began to notice that if someone's back was turned, I could hear noise, but I could not understand the words. I'm hearing impaired. I need 911 a little differently. And I need to know that the person on the other end is going to respond.
In regards to training, each telecommunicator or 911 dispatcher had to undergo a class to learn how to use the software that allows us to send and receive text messages through 911.
It can be life-threatening in the sense that our neighbors had a fire one day. Not a big fire. I didn't even hear the fire engines arrive next door. That's a little scary.
It actually brings us into, I guess, the next generation of public safety services.
I think that's fantastic. Since I have become hearing impaired, I'm finding more and more people who are hearing impaired. And many don't know that there are devices that can be helpful. And being able to text 911 is probably one of the best. Because as I said, this can be a life-threatening impairment.
In terms of cost, it was actually free to the department. It was paid for by 911 surcharge funds provided by the state of North Carolina. How to text 911 emergency. Enter the numbers 911 in the to field. Then the first text message to 911 should be brief and contain the location of the emergency and the type of help needed. Knowing where you are, whether it actually be your physical address or the closest intersection or a business, something that can at least have us dispatch and send a responder your way. You then want to push the send button. Be prepared to answer questions and follow instructions from the 911 call taker. And keep text messages brief and concise. And also, please don't use abbreviations or acronyms or emojis in order to get your point across. The information that you provide to us, it's going to be paramount, and we'd like it to be as clear as possible. We don't want to misinterpret or misconstrue information. You also need to have a text plan on your phone in order to text 911. Conversely, you don't actually have to have a cell phone plan to call 911. By federal law, any deactivated cell phone can call 911, but because of the way this is set up, you can't text 911 unless you have an active text messaging plan. We also ask that you get to safety first, then text us. What that also means is do not text and drive. We don't want you to break the law just because you see someone else breaking the law.
I sometimes have to say, what? Please repeat this. I didn't understand what you said. I'm really sorry you're getting frustrated with me. I can't help it. So being able to text, use a typewritten 911 system is going to be actually a godsend. It really will, and it will save lives.